Hello, my name is Aaron.
My name is Linda OJ.
And welcome to another episode of the NextGen Business Podcast.
Let's go.
The NextGen Business Podcast is produced by the Small Business Community Network. Visit them online at www.sbcncanada.org.
Okay, and for this episode, we will be talking about understanding that degrees and certifications are not as important as you may think. So this is going to be for anyone that is either doing their degree right now, or maybe a high schooler that's going to be looking at signing up for this program and deciding on what school they're going to go to, what university, what college. This is just to give them a little bit of an insight into what goes into making a good business person or entrepreneur, and understanding that.
Well, it looks like you've thought this one out, Aaron. I didn't give it any thought at all. Thank God you're here. I think, as we mentioned last time, I haven't got a degree, and I was lucky enough to get where I am without it. So you're actually finishing your degree at the moment, aren't you?
Yep. So right now I'm currently finishing my... it's an advanced diploma at Conestoga College. So it's a 3-year program, and it's based around business, but more specifically around building your own business. So it's kind of more on the management side, which is really nice because in the program, they give you a little bit of financing, marketing, accounting. So there's a little bit of everything in it, which is what I really wanted, because at the end of the day, for me, in my situation, I personally want to be my own boss. I don't really want to work for anyone else, but that's why I kind of chose this program.
Yeah, see how it goes. I find it very interesting that you are saying, let me get this right, you don't necessarily need a degree. So do you want to take us a little bit further into this, and I'll ask you lots of questions.
Obviously, you do need, for some specific jobs, you do need a degree, or you do need a diploma. You need that certification to say that, hey, I'm qualified to do this job. But a lot of young people kind of find it difficult to decide what kind of program they're going to get into. So what makes one program different from another one, even if it's in the same specific field. And that's the kind of topic that I wanted to cover today. Was it's not as important as you may think that, oh, I'm going to go for civil engineering instead of like constructional engineer type of thing, because as long as you have an engineering degree, or for example, for business, I'm going to go and get a finance degree instead of an accounting one. Yes, you do learn a little bit of a different thing in those programs, but at the end of the day, when you're getting hired, people are looking for the fact that you either have that diploma, that degree, and that you can apply it in like whatever industry you want to get into. So yeah, for people that are interested in getting into a specific program, it's important to know that, yes, you want to try really hard in school. Yes, you want to go to all your classes. You want to make sure that you get the best grades possible. But it's really important to network with those people around you. So that's, if you go to class, you have friends, they're in the same program, same interest, same field. And then you also want to look at maybe networking with your teacher, because sometimes your teachers will have opportunities that could present themselves for you to get that job after you get the degree.
You've made some really good points there, and I do agree. I get where you're coming from now. A degree does open doors. In my opinion, it's about, if I was an employer looking at, say, hiring you, even if you hadn't done a degree, say, in marketing, but that's the job you're looking at, you were able to continue with your degree, work at it, finish it, and get the job done. And I prefer then that maybe, I know you're going to continue learning about marketing while I employ you, versus saying, well, this is what I did at school and I don't know how to do anything else. You've got to be able to jump outside of it. That's very interesting. And I love the networking bit as well, because people think networking is all about selling, don't they? Selling something. Well, you're selling yourself when you network with people at university or college, because basically you never know who they're going to introduce you to, if they like you. I don't know about you, do you remember at high school? I'm sure you were the most popular person in high school because you've got that kind of personality, whereas I'm very shy and had my head in a book and didn't talk to anyone. So obviously nobody I knew from school gave me the opportunity for a job. I only had one job actually when I left school. So if somebody's at college now and thinking about starting their own business, or they're at university, they're doing a course, they don't necessarily have to do a course in starting a business, but what courses do you think would be good if they're going to start any business, which would be like really useful to start any business? That's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on what the business is. So if it's a very like a niche business that not a lot of people know about, and you could only gain that knowledge by going to say like a science program, and there's something about like molecules that you're talking about and that's what you want to make your business about, then you'd have to do that one. But I feel that business is one of those, like starting your own business, you don't really need to go to school to learn how to do it, because you can always employ people, or you can always partner up with people, or have access to people that kind of know how to run a business. And in that aspect, you don't really need to go to school to learn specifically how to run a business. A lot of it, I find that for myself especially, it's kind of learning on as you go. As long as you understand that you need to make money.
And that doesn't come immediately. So we're moving into the area of mentors now. I think, that is what's really useful more so today. And, people you're at school with obviously can be your mentors and help you. So yeah, if you're thinking of a really niche business, but I was thinking more of, you're just trotting off to college, you're just trotting off to university, you've decided to do, I don't know, a business entrepreneurship course or something. Would it have to include accounting? Would it have to include marketing? Would that course be useful to open doors for you? But then if you start a business, let's say, you've got one, you sell clothes, right?
Yeah, I sell clothes online. And it was actually really interesting how I kind of was able to start doing that. And it actually was through my school. So I had an idea of starting my own clothing brand when I was younger, and I put that on pause because I didn't have the skills that I wanted or that I needed to build that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to school. I'm just going to enroll in this general business program that helps you kind of start your own business. And then when I finish it, I'm going to try to go back to doing my clothing. So when I was like in my last year, I did I found out that my college actually offered a kind of business, they helped you run your own business. So if you want to start your own business, they're going to help you develop it. And it was offered to other students. And that's kind of like a group that a lot of colleges and universities have. So when you're taking the program, it's important to kind of network out there and see what your school has to offer, because that was something cool for my college that they had. And it was actually really awesome because they'd partner you up with a mentor that had knowledge in marketing, maybe financing, how to start a business. And you would meet with them every day for a year. Well, actually, sorry, it was 6 months. So half a year. You'd meet up with them every week, and together you guys would come to build a business plan on how you're going to make it work, what kind of money you need, kind of more or less the back end side of how to run that business. So that's what I did. I went through the program, and because of COVID, everything had to put on pause. So I'm actually starting it up. I started in November, which I started up again in November, and now I'm trying to do that right now. Let's finish my program.
For those people that are not considering going to college or university, there's I think they're all over Ontario. I'm not sure if they're all over Canada, but there's something called small business. We've got one local, Waterloo Region Business. I forgot the name of it now, but basically it's really cool. So you can sign up with them, and they do the kind of things that you were talking about. And I know in some of their courses they even pay you a little bit of money. I think you do have to be at college for the one, and they pay a bit of money towards your college. But then the other one, for more of the adult, mature people, you don't have to be at college, and they give you mentors and walk you through it like that. That's a really good opportunity. Why have I forgot where it's called? Waterloo Region Small Business Centre. There you go. So forget the Waterloo Region. I think they're all over Canada. So that is good if people, because not everybody wants to go to college or university, and not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But I think, the ideas you're giving us and the tips did you enjoy the company of your mentor? Was it someone employed at the school, or was it an outside person who came in to offer their time?
So for that program, it was an outside person that would come in. He had his own marketing company, and he decided that he was going to help students kind of build their brands out and their businesses. So he would come in. They had, I believe, 3 mentors or 4. And there was, I think, 15 people in the actual program. So each mentor would get like 5 or something like that, right? So we would essentially meet up with him. It was a lot of fun. He was a really nice guy, and I still talk to him nowadays.
I was going to ask you that, because he's a great connection. Whoever it is, he's a great connection. So if you keep the connection up, and I love LinkedIn, it might be old-fashioned, but if you keep the connection up, you never know when he's going to help you again. It's good that you got on with him. I've heard some stories where people didn't actually have a good relationship with a mentor, and that's exactly the same as if you're going to be employed by somebody and you don't have a good relationship with your manager. So how can you turn that around? It's difficult, but you just have to try. So I'm glad your mentor helped you and you enjoyed it. You seem very open to talk about networking, which I love, because I don't think you can do anything today without networking. How has networking helped you so far? I mean, in college you connected with your peers and your teachers, so do you meet with them outside, or do you contact them online if you need any help?
So with my friends, so I have like business friends, and we do keep in contact, but I haven't been able to see them because of COVID. And they have at-risk families, so I can't see them. And then for teachers, I didn't really do a great job of networking with them. I should have paid a little bit more attention to doing that, but I did have this one teacher. He was super hard, one of the hardest markers I had, and he would always ask me how my business was going, and he'd give me some feedback. So he'd go on my website and be like, hey, listen, maybe you should change this around because it'll look more professional and all that. And it was a lot of fun doing that. So I think with my friends, I did really good, but then with the teachers, I was a little bit shy in the beginnings.
No, don't tell me you're shy. That doesn't make any sense. I'm the shy one. I used to sit in the corner at school in England in high school, but it wasn't called high school. I don't know what it was called, just school. And the teachers used to just leave me to it because I didn't like to ask questions because I felt dumb. I was really shy. I've gained a lot of help though as I've matured and started my own businesses. I found one tip I will give is, if they're like you, and they're like me, and they're open and honest and very transparent, and so I need help, I don't know anything or whatever, people are more willing to help you versus, you being the person who knows everything. No, I don't need any help, and then down the line you phone them, I do need help, and they go, but I thought you knew everything, Karen. But don't be telling me you're shy. That does not. What else do you think, people should be thinking about if they want to go into entrepreneurship after college or university?
I think from going to college, you could start at any age, because with all my classes, I have people of different ages in it. And I think it's awesome that we have older people that are just starting on their business ventures. And that's something that I needed to see, because I didn't know. That's something that they don't really tell you when you're kind of registering for school or college. So it's never too late, really, to start.
It's never too late. I think it's the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy. If I've got my facts right, I don't think he started his business until quite late in his life. There's quite a few famous people that started quite late, The thing is, the world has changed now. The world has changed dramatically. I'd never heard of an entrepreneur when I was at school. It wasn't the thing. Everybody went to a job and stayed at the job, that kind of thing. So entrepreneurship is a big thing. Did you know that, small businesses, especially in Ontario, but across Canada, is keeping the economy going? Well, it was until COVID. So it's very important. Yeah. You seem a very happy entrepreneur as well. A lot of people get stressed, and you mentioned money. have you had to put a lot of money into your business, or are you just going very slow?
So for the so I do a landscaping company, and it's my buddy and my best friend, my buddy and my brother that we do it with, and he's my twin brother is my best friend, but we put money in it just to buy lawnmowers and just the equipment that we needed for it, and that turned a profit pretty easily because in the summer we'd be swamped with clients all the time. But then for the clothing one, it takes a little bit more money to put into it at first. So right now, even with trying to have a lean startup, it is costing me a little bit more money just to get it going, because not a lot of people are going to purchase your clothing unless it's something different. So that's something that I've been spending a lot of money on, is trying to market it properly, make sure that all the back end logistics side of it is working well, and that includes having a website that you can actually sell products on, and having advertisements and all that, which is not as cheap as you think. When I first started, I'm like, oh, maybe doing a commercial is not that expensive. But then when you talk to your friends, like I have this one friend that I made at college, and he does his own photography company. So that's like building a network, and he's going to help me do a commercial, but he charges a lot, so he's going to give me a discount. He's going to give me a discount, which is how like the network worked. And
that is cool. Also, there's the barter system. Have you come across the barter system yet, where you barter with someone?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't work forever though. So when I started my business 20 odd years ago as a motivational speaker, can't really barter that really, because the business I was mixing with, like, they may print some business cards for me for free, but they're not going to be hosting any conferences or events, or but I was good at introducing them to people. But I think a lot of people came to understand that once you've helped each other like that, then you have to start paying your bills, and you have to start paying for stuff. So the barter system doesn't last long, but as long as he's giving you a discount, that's a good way to go. It really, really is. So we've talked we said you do need a degree because it opens doors, and it shows if you are looking for a job in a day job, a corporation, something like that, it shows that you are going to finish what you started. And I know my husband, Dave, he likes people of all ages to be able to continue learning, continue to educate themselves, not just, this is my job, I don't do anything else. Because today, when you're working for a large corporation, you don't have this is what you do. It's you do everything, and if you don't like it, you're out of a job. so it's tough. It's difficult though. You mentioned money when starting your own business, so I think you're very clever to start your business whilst at college, and maybe you're living at home, I don't know, but I'm very nosy, so maybe your expenses are low. But if somebody's becoming an entrepreneur and paying for college, maybe they have to put it off a bit till they save up some money, or do it part-time, when they leave college. It can be expensive starting a business.
Yeah, definitely is a little bit on the expensive side, and there's always ways to kind of minimize your expenses. So I know maybe just because one person's doing it one way doesn't mean that you have to do it that way as well. For example, with the clothing stuff, I don't buy bulk, so I don't spend $10,000 to purchase a bunch of hoodies that I'm never going to sell. I do it per order. So there's this new thing called drop shipping, which is you pay for the product when you sell it. And that's a way to keep your expenses as low as possible. You do have to sacrifice the fact that your profit margins aren't going to be as high as you'd want. But in the beginning phase, when you're just testing out a business, you want to see if it works. So being able to not risk that much money on it in the beginning is really good, especially since I'm still in school.
You're very wise beyond your years, because a lot of people would buy the 10,000 hoodies. And I say this to people in your early years: don't buy 1,000 business cards, because your brand is still growing. Your brand is, going to change. And don't buy 1,000 flyers. It's less expensive to do that. But quite honestly, for mine and Dave's businesses, my husband and business partner, we started just doing our own printing. Obviously Dave's very clever. I tell him what I want, and Dave managed to do it for me. But the thing is, when you're marketing, as long as you keep everything consistent and you've got a decent printer, it's not that hard really to do some, versus spending lots of money on something that you don't like. So any other tips then for those people who may be in the middle of the degree or thinking about starting it whenever COVID's over and they want to become an entrepreneur? Please work hard at college, like you said in the beginning.
So a lot of people think that maybe being an entrepreneur is easier, or they don't want to work a 9-to-5 job and they just want to work their own hours, which you can get to that point where you're not working as much. But just starting it off, you have to put so much time and effort into it if you want to do it successfully. And those are hours that you don't even write down. Like you just have like a couple hours here, there, and they add up to being like 12 hours a day. So it's not for being an entrepreneur is not something that you can do to get away from working. It's something you do if you're really passionate about whatever product or whatever service you want to sell. So that's a big one. And also would like to just mention for anyone that is still, maybe you don't want to be an entrepreneur, but you still want to go to school or pursue that, make sure that you're going to those school communities in your area. So I know for some schools they have environmental groups where you guys get together, and just going to those type of events and being part of those clubs will open doors for you in that field. So that's really important. It's almost as important as the degree you're going to get, just being able to network with those people.
One quick question from me. How much time, it's a difficult year, I know, and last year, we've only just started this year with COVID and everything, but pretend COVID's not around and you've had a normal year at school. How much time would you spend like on your schoolwork, your college work, and how much time would you spend on your business? So
for my college work, I always found that it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. If you can manage your assignments properly, you shouldn't ever run into the problem where you're like spending hours the day of or the day before to hand in a big project. You should be working like maybe an hour here every single day to get those stuff going. So I would spend some time studying and doing all that. I also, with all my marks and stuff, I didn't get the highest marks in my class, but I always tried to make sure that you put in a lot of effort into group work. That's something that's super important. If you go to college or university, those group works are like when you're in a group project, you have to put in as much as you can, because those people, you might not realize it now, but they might be HR person later on, and they might hire you for a job, or they might be a coworker and they be like, hey, don't hire that guy because he doesn't do his work. So it's really important to make sure you do good group work and you participate properly.
That is so funny. So, if you can quickly just condense it down. So basically, you've got your college work and you're selling your stuff online, and you have to do your accounting. So did it ever overwhelm you? Did you think you spent too much time trying to do the things and get overwhelmed, or did you manage all that work?
Yeah, so I would try to manage it as best as I could, but I always found that because I was way more passionate about starting my company and running it, I always found that I would prioritize that over my schoolwork. So I would always do maybe 40% of school, and then like the rest would be for just trying to run my business. And today I had a lot of homework to do, but I just spent all of it trying to do marketing campaigns and all that today. So I have a lot of catching up to do tomorrow, but
so it's about time management, really, isn't it? Managing your time, because marks are good, and as long as you pass your course, that's great. But you did mention your marks weren't that good, so if you were doing most of your selling, people out there, don't listen to him. Make sure you get better marks and do. I'm only teasing. This is an interesting conversation. This is really interesting. All of my children. One went to college for the first year, techie kind of thing, and says, Mom, it's too easy. And he's done really well on his own, he really has. But good personality and good skill set. One of my kids wanted to be so many different things, and he's ended up being something completely different without college, but he did return for some extra stuff to help him with his career. My daughter my youngest daughter and my youngest son managed to finish college, and yeah, it really did open doors. Funnily enough, with Melissa's job, they wanted a degree versus a college diploma, but she still got the job because she's so amazing. So again, once you meet somebody who's interviewing you, it does depend, I think, on your personality as well and how you come over in the interview. And yes, it's nice to have a degree or a diploma, but she's very like you. She can work on her own and keep on learning about things. I only got motivated about stuff when I started my own businesses. But I continue to educate myself now, otherwise I wouldn't have got this far. That's a great conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you know what, for one of our other episodes, we should definitely look at maybe bringing in an HR person to talk us like what they look for when they're hiring people, what sets them apart. Because the diploma or the degree is one thing, but then like what else are they looking for? Are they looking for you to volunteer, and like how much does that play a role in them hiring you compared to other people? And I think that'd be interesting to actually get someone on our show to talk to us about that.
I actually did a presentation at one of the small business centres on this a couple of years ago. I think they were the are you Gen Z or Gen X or Gen Y, or what gen are you? Don't really matter. It was one of the gens.
1997, so I think that's X.
Okay. Well, anyhow, I was there and there was all these young people and they were amazing. And basically, HR people really, really do look for the first time that they see you online. How are you online? So yeah, that's a really good, and also how you enter a room and that kind of thing. That's a really, really good topic. Well, I think I've had quite an education. I wish I'd have gone to college now. It sounds like fun, but it's never too late.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I never went I never went to on residence for anything, so that's something I really missed out on. So if you're doing that, if you're going to college or university and you're paying for it already, try to go to get that experience, because you meet a lot more people that way.
Actually, we should bring Dave on. As you know, he's a cybersecurity guy, and he went to Bath University in England, because obviously he lived there too. And it sounds like they had a lot of fun. So he lived, I don't know, a couple of hours away, but he was in residence. A lot to do with beer and partying, and he was a DJ. He was a DJ at a local pub. But I think once they built a door out of beer cans. Now, I don't know whether this is good to tell people this. I'm not saying you've got to drink a lot, but... And there again, we get back to the networking. A lot of those people still keep in touch with him. They're all over the world. And again, who you know, high school, college, whether you work for an organisation, whether you attend networking, all those people are useful to you. So we'll touch on that another time. So I think we have to say goodbye now, because I know you've got a really busy day, haven't you? But you know what? We'll be back with another NextGen Business Podcast soon.
Thanks for listening. Check us out at www.nextgenbusinesspodcast.com.